I finally tested the Chebe Kiddie butter on my little one's hair, and this is how it went. Firstly, I'm going to show you guys the container it came in. It's been used quite a good amount of time. So the label, the inscriptions on the label has kind of worn out, but I'm going to show you the size I got and what the container looks like. So here it is. So that's how the container looks, and I will show you what's in the container. I'll show you how the actual product looks. I will also put a picture of the product so you guys can see what the label looks like. The one that's not been worn out or worn off. So I will put that picture as well so you guys can have a look at the product. So this is what the label looks like, and it will be in the link as well. All right, these are some of my observations with the product. It has a strong minty smell, a strong minty eucalyptus kind of smell. So if you're sensitive to smell, just know that about the product. But my toddler didn't have any issues with it. She didn't have any issues with the smell. And I also like the smell as well. It kind of gives a fresh feel to your scalp when you apply it to the hair, and I love the scent of it, the smell. So I'm not bothered by it, but it does have that strong minty smell. So if you are sensitive, or if you have a child that's sensitive to smells, then you just need to note that about the product. Another thing I did observe the product, if it's stored in a warm temperature, you know, this is a product that's mixed with different oils and ingredients and good stuff, you know. It does get quite oily, or it melts down and it gets quite liquidy. When it's stored in a very warm temperature. It also has shea butter and it has oil, and as you know, if oils are stored in a warm temperature, it then gets more liquid, and it could at times leave a stain, an oily stain, you know, as depending on how you apply it to the hair. If you don't cover the lid properly, or if some of the product remains outside the container, if it's stored in a warm temperature, that the product can get quite liquid, and it could possibly leave behind an oily residue on maybe a furniture or whatever you put it on. So just to have that in mind. But if it's stored properly, closed properly, then you should not have that issue. But I kind of had that issue. I felt that anytime I lifted the product, it was always oily around the container. But I didn't have any, that's just something I just observed that I wanted to mention. Now, when I apply the product in my daughter's hair, the product itself is a bit grainy. And I think that is the Chebe powder. It's a bit grainy. It has some particles in it that makes it grainy in texture. So when you put it on your child's hair, you will feel that graininess. It may not necessarily be someone else's forte. Some people may not like it. I didn't have any issue with it. I was more so wanting to get the benefits of actually using the Chebe powder. I've heard a lot about it, so I said, you know what, I want to try it for my daughter and see how her hair responds to it. So it is grainy in texture. Some might have an issue with it. I didn't have an issue with it. Not sure how your toddler, if your toddler is a bit sensitive with, it has some kind of sensory sensitivity around that. It is something to note. It is a bit grainy. My toddler didn't have any issues with it. I personally don't have any issues with it. So, but it's something I just wanted to mention so that you are aware of it when you are purchasing the product. Now, in terms of when I apply it, how I use it in multiple ways. I use it after her hair has been washed, after a wash day. I apply the Chebe butter to her hair. I use it more so with the lock method, liquid oil conditioner. It is the oil I would use / conditioner. Sometimes it's usually just what I put on her hair. I try to do, you know, less is more for me. That's the motto I believe in. So I try not to use a lot of stuff on her hair, but I usually do use conditioner as well with her hair. I use it sometimes as a refresher. If I see her hair is a bit dry, looks dry, and I want to put a little bit of moisture in it or make her hair look a little more shiny, add some shininess to the hair, then I would use it. I find that using the Chebe Kiddie butter on its own after a wash is sufficient enough for me. Now that's when I'm doing less with her hair entirely, but if I'm doing a little bit more with her hair, I may use some other products to reinforce moisture, to keep in moisture in her hair. And I will put a video of one of the instances of me applying the product on her hair so you guys can see. So this is right after a wash. I sectioned her hair in 2 sections and I'm applying the product directly to those 2 sections. And this is all that I have applied. This is just a wash that has happened and I'm putting the product into her hair. And I'm just going ahead to stretch because my toddler's hair, it tangles quite quickly or easily. So I'm going ahead applying the product in, and as well I'm just stretching out the hair too as I'm applying the product. So that's what I'm doing in this video. And as I said earlier on, less is more. So I am not using a lot of the product on her hair. I'm just going ahead in small amounts, not necessarily small, just enough to get into the hair. Now this is me styling the hair. I'm just putting her hair in 2 sections and just twisting the ends a little bit. So like I mentioned earlier, my daughter's hair tangles quite easily. So I'm just doing a simple twists, and this is the final hair. This is how it looks. I love it. All right, now in terms of my general experience with the product, I personally like the product. I have no issues with the grainy texture of the product. I like the minty smell of it, and I like that it's runny when I apply it to her hair, and I find that the product gets into her hair easily, which is great for me. I don't have to overly rub in the product to get the product into her hair. So it seems that her hair absorbs the product quite great. Now in terms of my daughter's hair, in terms of if it contributed to my daughter's hair that's thriving, I would say there has been no detraction since using the product on my toddler's hair. It is not taken away from my daughter's hair growth, or the moisture. So I would say it's contributing, it's helping her hair thrive the more. So that is my thoughts on it. I'm going to put a link for the product that I got from Amazon down below, down in the description of this video, so you can click on the link and check it out. It is affordable pricing. It's on Amazon, so it can be delivered directly to you. Yeah, my experience with the product has been great so far. And yeah, but if you guys have used it and if you've had a different experience, please let me know. I've been using my daughter's hair now for about a month. I would actually more than a month. It's been our go-to for like 2 months now, and the size of the product has been good enough for me. It's lasted quite a while. I think it has more to do with the runny texture of it, so you don't necessarily need to apply a lot to the hair for the product to get into the hair. Less is more, my motto. But yeah, so my experience with the product has been great. I'll put down the link in the description like I mentioned before. Click it, check it out. Let me know your thoughts if you've used the product before. What was your experience like? Like I said, so far the experience has been great, has been good for me. I've not seen any detraction in my daughter's hair since using the products. I believe the product is reinforcing growth in my daughter's hair and also helping my daughter's hair thrive more. So that has been my experience with the product so far. All right, so I'll see you guys in my next video. Please like, please share, please comment. Please put your comments down below. Let me know your experience with the product. If yours has been different from mine, please put them down in a comment. If you have any tips to share, please put it down so we can all learn from that tip. All right, I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching.